Another 0.0 lines down in favor of a small-time team, Beyond Virginity, certainly going beyond Red Overlord, if you can say that.
I see what you did there.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It's, I believe that our producer, CCB Charlie, was trying to put a graph up on screen.
Ooh,
if
I love
you would
nerd
like
graphs.
to put anything up on the screen, Charlie,
Maybe a
we
spreadsheet.
will be thrilled. If not, then we'll just keep on talking. Guys,
see a
let's
cat.
just keep on talking. Guys, nothing's on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Nothing's on the
Sorry.
What's going
Superb.
on? Sorry.
Anyway,
Anticipation.
There's
Yes.
a shiny thing over there.
I said Red Overlord, and I actually thought so as well when I saw the field.
I think we all said Red
If you
Overlord.
had told me those setups beforehand, I would have still said Red Overlord.
Yeah. If anyone
And
had said
Kill 2
Beyond
disagrees,
Virginity,
and he's mad at you right now.
There's a surprise.
Yeah. Kill 2 does a lot of things.
if anyone had
very
said
angry.
Beyond Virginity are going to bring 2 Ravens and a Tempest and win, I would have said,
Yeah,
ha ha
I wouldn't
ha.
even need to hear what they were going against.
No, exactly.
But didn't they do that yesterday?
Did they?
Or yeah, I think they
You know what? I
brought
can
2
actually,
Ravens
if you
and a
guys
Tempest.
just keep on talking about
Okay.
that, I'll check it.
Yeah, it's going to sound really
Okay,
condescending.
everybody. While he looks shuffles through his
Good for
papers,
B.
fine tournament cat.
Yes, good for Beyond Virginity. I'm glad that they won
actually
that
did.
round.
My God, they did. 2 Ravens,
See?
Vulture, Tempest, Hugin, Basilisk, Thrasher, Saber. Was that exactly what we saw?
Yeah.
And that worked.
You know, it's
Again,
funny
twice.
that you guys brought me here for a reason.
Yeah. It's your good
Space birding, you know.
Yeah.
Space Bert.
But anyway, what went wrong? The other 2 Widows, 2 Chronos, and Euros Lachesis looks like a good setup.
They brought that setup.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe maybe Beyond Virginity had nothing but ECCM fit in their mids on every ship.
But is this a question? Is this? I mean, I know I bring this up constantly because I want people to agree with me. Is this the whole issue of 6 versus 10 ships?
Well, this wasn't 6 versus 10.
It was like 6 versus
Like 6 versus 8-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. If we imagine that it was 10, I really want people to agree with me on this. Is it important filling out all these slots, or as many as possible? Because 6 is a slim team.
6 is a slim team, but I mean, Beyond Virginity was never really in any trouble of losing their main ships. They lost a Thrasher.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really came in at all in this match. I think it can be an issue.
Krovan, you look like you're thinking and possibly agree with me. Go on, sir.
I might agree with you. Yeah, to a certain extent, like when you look at the points breakdown, how cheap the small ships are this go-round. Like Tech 1 frigates and stuff like that, yeah, they're kind of expensive compared to destroyers in particular, but there's still only 3 points. You look at a Lachesis, which I think is 12. I think it's 12 points.
60 cruiser, I think so, yeah.
That's 4 of your choice of any interdictor, interceptor, assault frigate, or Tech 1 frigate. If you're looking to damp, if you're bringing a Lachesis, you could bring 4 Maulus.
Or badges.
Or Badgers.
Yeah.
Or me.
Oh, yeah,
Always
sorry, I forgot.
Badgers.
Haulers are also 3 points.
Or me.
From across the room, I hear.
From across,
From across the room,
Yeah.
so I've heard.
Go ahead.
But you can split that up. Obviously, frigates are more fragile, but at the same time, what we've seen, we haven't seen a ton of the E-War frigates. We've seen a few Griffins, few Maulus, but a lot of what we're seeing is interceptors, assault frigates, and interdictors and destroyers performing a secondary E-War role,
Yes.
as well as a support destruction role. And at the end of the match, they can throw their DPS onto the main target as well.
See them tackling too.
Oh yeah, they're
We
great.
see
for
the
that.
webs holding
Yeah.
people down so the big ships can get their
And
so
things out.
I
the
think
scramblers.
yeah.
And scramblers.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
2 ships that have it.
one thing though is, I think it's more important that you fill out your 100 points completely.
Yeah.
I think that's key, and
Yeah.
then the amount of people you have is a little secondary to that. But I think leaving open points is just there's no reason to
Yeah,
do that.
there's no obviously there's never a reason to have more than 1 empty point because there's a 2-point option. But no, I think it's true. I mean, that 1 point, if it makes a difference of having 1 ship over another or bringing an extra destroyer, then yeah, you
Well,
need to be doing it.
I think with a lot of the teams, they've put together a core that works and then just filled up the slots.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
fine.
like the Beyond Virginity one, you know, it was Tempest and Ravens and the Basilisk.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we've got these slots, what can we do with them? That actually makes sense given this other setup. And I mean, it's only when you see teams like Dystopia where they field 3 haulers that it's kind of like, I get your mid slots, but there was probably something more useful we
Right,
could have
like
done
With a
those
gun,
Two
maybe.
sabers and something.
Yeah, yeah. Like 2 sabers and a Thrasher would have done a lot more damage.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's down to each team to kind of mix it up and come up with a setup that works for them. But
Let me just support my argument even more. We have a situation here. They have 6 ships. They lose their Chronos. As Kill 2 says, there goes almost half their DPS. That is one ship they lose. That's one single ship they lose.
Part of that is in their ship selection, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I like Kronos, they like Kronos, haha, it was real funny. But when your only DPS is in the form of 2 Kronos, it's not quite as bad as having your DPS in the form of only 2, say, curses, but it still leaves you wide open. And yeah, all you have to do is lose one of them, and yeah, you're in a world of hurt. Yeah, you can jam everybody until next Tuesday, well, which obviously they couldn't. But you know, even if you've got good E-War, if you can't kill anyone, it doesn't matter. And you've already lost what, a 19-point ship in the form of that one battleship.
And I think this is why we've been seeing so many of the like 6 battle cruiser setups work so well.
Oh, I love them
because you know, okay, you bring a whole bunch of tracking disruptors, but you know, you need to tracking disrupt effectively 6 different targets, and you can't. I mean, if they're all around you and you're all in at the center of the grid, you know, how are you going to successfully avoid taking damage from 6 different targets at the same time? I mean, it's you know, more targets does. I mean, it obviously works in this setup. So.
I'm surprised we haven't heard more about your Ishkars. I think they're a really good choice for 3 points in this tournament.
Are they 3 points?
I think they're a little bit more.
Or 4, maybe 4 for an assault brig.
I don't remember how much they are, but they are
maybe 13 or 14. I don't know.
If they're 13 or 14, they're certainly not worth their points. But if they're down by the 5 area, I think they definitely are.
Yeah, given how much we're seeing of them, I'd assume they're in the lower end. I know that they are somewhere around 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah.
Because I know I asked why we weren't using it on our teams.
I think they're less than bombers, so it'd be less than 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just waiting for someone to burst through the door and give us the answer. But
waiting for CCP Claw to come in with a Kanye West reference and give us the
answer. Yeah, waiting for
I'll let you finish, but the 6 points.
But I mean, they are really good. They're really good. 5 drones, rack full of E-War, guns, everything. They're the best ship in the entire game.
Really?
Possibly.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, now, yeah, I mean,
they are pretty awesome.
Afterburning Ishkars are pretty sweet.
Do you know what we also see constantly, which is a ship that we oddly never talk about, considering how many of them there are?
That's because we pretend it doesn't exist. I know what you're going to say.
I'm not. It's the command ships. Pretty much every team has some kind of Absolution, Nighthawk, something, whatever.
Sure.
I want to point out that me and Croven talked about that this morning.
Did you? Really?
Yes.
Please,
we're very insightful.
Relay the conversation to the rest of us while I make hand gestures.
Spit it around over my head. And no, I think we were commenting on the like utility command ships we're seeing a lot of, where it's Damnation with a bunch of newts, or you know, one of the other ships with some kind of E-War in the mids. I think the thing with command ships is usually, like, if you get an Absolution or a Nighthawk, it's an Absolution or a Nighthawk. It's going to either have lasers or missiles or a big armor tank or a big shield tank, depending. And that's pretty much it. There's like, you know, oh, they have a Nighthawk. We're done talking about it.
You can run one mod, too. One gang mod.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of Eoses and probably more Damnations than Vultures, I think.
Yeah,
and a couple of Claymores, but not many.
Pandemic,
I mean, we had one earlier.
Claymore.
Yeah.
I've probably seen most Damnations.
Yeah, I think Damnations, because you get, I mean, armor tanking is just awesome. And you team up the Guardian and the Damnation, and you just it's generally a recipe for success. But you know, you kind of lose all your mid slots when you go with a Kaldari heavy one, and you have to field a Basilisk and a Vulture, and it's like it's just complex and hurts heads.
So complex, yes. While we just mull over those ship choices, I think we should quickly go to the lovely Stevie SG, who is with our commentators.
Yep, you can mull things over. Hello everyone, if you've just tuned in, I'm Stevie SG. I'm your forum correspondent for the remainder of the day. And I'm here in the wonderful commentary booth with 2 of our brilliant commentators. I have Kill2 to my left. And I have Ryasnia to my right.
Howdy.
And we've got questions on the forums. First of all, we've got a couple of shout-outs. Happy birthday, Nasty and Kronos01. They're both their birthdays, I believe, and they're watching from home, so happy birthday. Wish him happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And what else have we got? Okay, well, some questions are simpler than others, but there are no such thing as bad questions. Why have Pandemic Legion done so well? That's a big question, but I think there's probably some smaller things that probably help them along the way.
I mean, they're really good at everything that's related to the tournament. They're good at the metagaming. They're good at planning for the whole tournament. They're also, in my opinion, the best at executing their plans. They're better at piloting their own ships, working as a team, all the things that are relevant to doing a good job in a tournament as difficult as this. They're just the best at least for now.
Yeah, I was going to give a 2-word answer: flawless execution.
Flawless execution. Well, there you go. What else have we got? Oh, just to let you guys know that the Eon competition is now closed. So no more guessing, because it's getting closer to when you probably could get a more accurate guess on the PCU. But we are still trying to break the PCU. So if you're watching the stream and you're not logged in, log in your computer, log in your character, log in as many characters as you have. And we can get that PC up and see if we can break the record again, which would be awesome. And yeah, and keep watching the show. And what else have we got here?
I think we've got Charlie's girlfriend watching Eve TV. Is that what he just said?
I don't know. Charlie, what did you say in my ear again? Oh,
Charlie's girlfriend is watching Eve TV.
Hello, Charlie's girlfriend.
It's
I thought
awesome.
Charlie was a girl. Anyway, get people watching Eve TV. Spam the link. Spam it wherever you can so we can get as many people watching these finals as possible. What else have I got? What would you field if it were you? Because I know that Vito haven't been in an Alliance tournament.
No, but I have.
But you have.
I
You've
have.
flown.
Yep.
If they were, what would you field?
Ooh. I mean, we might not have made it this far because my particular fit would have favored the battlecruiser heavy setups. I love watching the Hurricanes and the Cyclones out there, and I probably would have padded it with Thrashers just because I love the ship.
There you go.
Man, it is a really hard question. It's like we're seeing setups emerge that have nothing to do with the themes that started out in the tournament, and since I wasn't part of that evolution, it's like, oh, I'll just whip one out, but you guys are so mature.
Rated team for team.
God, it's really hard. I would have tried to use Nightmares.
Because Nightmares are awesome.
As the maturity level in the
I
studio
give up.
plummets to
I can't beat
minus
Trisbeck.
0 if Claw was watching, I'm sure he would rate it as that. Okay.
T for teen.
T for teen. Remember, this does have a rating. What's been your biggest surprise? We've now seen pretty much every combo that you could see. What's been the biggest surprise of this tournament? And this can go back to the qualifiers as well, because we had some pretty interesting qualifying matches.
Ursha Khan being knocked out. I honestly, I had them and Dead Terrace pegged to be the final match, and didn't happen. I really that was what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some low RPers and some awesome low sec pirates battle it out. I'm gonna get BYDI. I'll take it because I mean, yeah, Circle of Two, no hope.
Guilty?
We talked about it a lot, but I'm really surprised to see Pandemic Legion making bombers work.
Yeah.
I thought this format particularly would not allow for that, even though it's been good in past tournaments, and I'm pretty surprised that they're doing such a good job with it.
Okay, what else do we have here? Normally we have Cinderella stories in the tournament, for example, teams that you didn't think would do very well that end up doing excellently. Do we have a Cinderella?
Well, not exactly. I mean, no team that we didn't think would do well did well. I mean, it's at this point every team that's gotten this far, you know, you hope, you expect, you expect, you know, certain levels of skill. But yeah, beyond virginity, you know, from the beginning they showed a really strong team, but I don't know that anyone expected them to get this far. I mean, they are on the cusp of making it to the final match.
What was the question again?
Cinderella story.
I had an. I think defining Cinderella story is really hard. Last year we may have done it incorrectly with RUR because they're actually an experienced team that switches names, and because of the nature of the tournament, you see a lot of people under names you don't recognize, and I think a lot of time when we sort of interpret something as a Cinderella story, it's actually just someone we're not familiar with who really has the ability to do well. I think the nature of the tournament now, especially after kind of becoming the huge ordeal that it is and, you know, becoming so important to so many people, it's really unlikely to have, like, oh, some random cute PvP corp from LowSec do really well and make it all the way to the end. Like, it would be nice, but that's just not happening. And especially in this tournament, we have people that deserve to be here. Even people like CO2, who we didn't really recognize. They're PvPers, and they know what they're doing, and they belong here. And those teams even are out. And now we're left with people who are dedicated and awesome.
I mean, this is the hardcore left. In order to make it to the very end, these guys are playing five matches today.
Yep, so they'll have had to have had them prepared at least.
Yeah, that requires, you know, that requires the type of dedication that it really takes to be a top level team.
Well, I mean, when the teams first got announced, there was a lot of who are on the forums about unknown teams and not being allowed in. You know, do you think that the major alliances should get an automatic free pass, or do you think that it's up to the draw?
No. I mean, it's great the way that they've done it. I think this is the most fair system that they've ever had before. And, you know, all of those alliances, a lot of the ones that did the whining, had B and C teams in there as well. I mean, teams like Blanket Men, teams like Scooty Puff Jr., teams like... I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. There were 2 or 3 teams in there that were other teams under different names, and even AAA was Havoc, which that was completely fielded by Havoc. So there's plenty of room for all of these big alliances. It's just that they're trying to stack the deck by putting as many alliances as they can create in there as possible.
Okay, well, if you have a question for these lovely gentlemen, you can go to eveonline.com, go on the forums. There's a thread there called the Stevie SG Questions thread, or something along those lines, and post me a question, and I'll get it to these guys. And alternatively, if you want to get a question through to Soundwave in the studio with the commentators over there, you can go on IRC, coldfront.net, and talk to one of our experts who should be in that channel, and you can get a question through to him. And good luck. I hope the people that did well answering the PCU. What do you think? Do you have any guesses?
I'm hoping we break 58,000. It would be really cool if everyone signed up their sister, their mother, their dad, get every computer you've got turned on, because if we can break 60,000...
It's EVE history. We would be making EVE history if we managed it, which would be pretty awesome.
We'd be making video game history.
I think we're also about 1,000 people off the EVE TV record for the number of viewers. So get people watching. We want to break those records. But it should be pretty cool. What would your guess be for PCU?
Oh, I'm totally unfamiliar with the usual. What was it before?
I think the one we broke earlier in the year was something like 52,000, along those lines.
I'd like to guess 52,001.
I think it's going to be more than that. I'm pretty sure it was in the 64s.
Was it?
Or
Okay.
not, 54s, sorry.
54s? Yeah, something along those lines. But anyway, if you do have a guess, it's too late for the competition, but post it on the forums just to see if any of you are magically right. You never know, it could happen. And I think with that, we should probably pass it back to Soundwave in the studio.
Thank you very much, guys. What do you think the PCU is going to be at?
Pick 5 numbers from the top of your head and just put them together. What did we have last time? Did they say 52,000?
I think it was like 51.6 and change.
I mean, the competition obviously is closed, but we could still break it. We could still break it, I mean, without being in the competition, if you know what I mean.
We could still guess it.
We can still guess it. We can still guess it.
So you want us to get out our laptops and log in?
Yeah. I think we're going to break it by many.
By many?
I would hope so. I won't even begin to try to guess what the number will be. But yeah, that much people.
We'll at least get 10. Okay. Well, that's certainly interesting. And Atropos, you will be here for just a few more minutes. After you, we have CCP Hammer, the lead designer of EVE, who you guys will be able to ask questions as well. Do you have any questions for a guy like CCP Hammer? Complete silence. Great.
Fix the lag. Wait,
I learned some things from him the other night, and we got to know each other.
How about if we grab 1 or 2 questions from IRC?
Let's do that.
As long as they're not stupid.
We actually have the guy called Tinian.
Oh, no, he's good. He's good. I was talking to him yesterday.
Yeah, he's pretty much like quality. We haven't seen many Minmatar ships. Are they just too high priced compared to what the other races offer?
They're fragile.
Okay.
You tend to not be able to get as good of a dedicated tank on them as you can with a Amar or a Caldari or even Galente ship.
Yeah, because I mean the defensive features here of these setups is important. We see a lot of logistics ships, we see a lot of Drakes who do a lot of stuff very poorly but die slowly. They do very well.
Yeah.
And
as we saw earlier.
Is there really a Minmatar ship that dies slowly?
Typhoon.
Yeah, things like the Typhoon. I mean,
we've only seen the one Typhoon, haven't we?
Yeah. Actually, I think we've seen a couple of them.
We may have seen 2, maybe 2. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think overall Minmatar ships are just a little bit more fragile, and the weapons aren't quite as versatile. Although we're seeing a lot of blasters, so I don't think that's really a reason.
Okay. Well, let's take a quick look at the schedule, which I believe CCP Charlie is kind enough to put up on screen for us right now. Let's see what we have left here. What does it say?
I like how I said I liked the blue side earlier. I
I
was really on with
blue's
that.
good. Blue's gonna be good, man.
Yeah.
Scale of
Pandemic
1 to
Legion
fail.
versus Manifest Destiny. That is going to be very exciting. Pandemic Legion, if they beat Manifest Destiny, they are in the final. If they win the final, that will be a repeat of last year. Circle of 2 versus Beyond Virginity. Let's hope Beyond Virginity go all the way.
Hey-o!
That was a terrible pun. I'm very sorry, but I couldn't help myself.
Fantastic.
So, Proven, who do you think we're going to have in the final?
I think we could have. Wasn't Pandemic Circle of Two an option?
It was Pandemic versus Manifest Destiny, Circle of Two versus Beyond Virginity.
So yeah,
Yeah, I like Pandemic Circle of Two.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see it, and I think it could happen.
Well, I mean, certainly the way the schedule is laid out, it can happen.
It's physically possible, yes.
It is.
It's going to be Manifest.
It's actually 50-50.
Beyond Virginity now.
Yeah, of course.
Because
now
I
it's-
said
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think Pandemic are going to go through Beyond Virginity against Circle of Two. Beyond Virginity, I think, is the stronger team at the moment, but Circle of Two could mix it up. I mean, they're here in the semis.
They certainly are.
But in other news, who do you think would get third or fourth?
Oh, I think that is a tough question.
Because I mean, everyone wants to know who's going to get first and second, but third and fourth is actually a playoff on the points, I believe, for those in that second fail bracket.
Do you guys want my top four?
In any order?
I have a
or-
funny feeling you're going to give it to
Yeah.
us anyway.
Let me do
It's a
the
rhetorical
old
question.
future knuckle. Just a quick rub.
Future Knuckle, what do you say?
I believe Pandemic Legion are going to win over Circle of Two. The third place team will be Beyond Virginity, and the fourth place team will be Manifest Destiny. There you have it, straight from Future Knuckle. I can't be wrong.
Nobody
Anyway.
messes with the future knuckle.
I think we should take a quick break and watch a hopefully funny video. Atropos, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Can I quickly bro fist you on the way out?
Pro fist.
Thank you.
Pro Fist.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with CCP Hammer and the last of the matches of the day, but please enjoy this video in the meantime.